Gold and Blue Dude's biggest pet peeve. Honestly, I can't believe that I haven't shared this before yet because it's a big one. It irritates me, it grinds my gears, and it makes no sense.
Yep, I'm talking about conference homers. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody? It's me again, Gold and Blue Dude, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I do college football videos every single day. This is a subject that is near and dear to my heart for all the wrong reasons. Conference homers. I don't get it. And this thing actually used to not exist. It didn't start coming around until ESPN and the SEC kind of joined forces to try to pump up the SEC even more than what they were pumped up before. Now you got teams like South Carolina, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, not the bottom of the barrel, but kind of that mid-tier section of the SEC, bragging about their conference whenever they're ending up with 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 losses in a year. They act like whenever a team from the SEC wins the national championship that they get a share of it. No, you don't. That's not how it works. And they actually pull for a team that beat them, demolished them, humiliated them whenever that team makes the playoffs or the national championship. That makes no sense to me. I'm a West Virginia fan. We're in the Big 12. Everybody knows that I don't like West Virginia in the Big 12. But it doesn't matter which conference West Virginia is in. The other teams that we have to play, if they go on to have success, get into the playoffs, win a playoff game, get to the national championship, win the national championship, I don't give a crap. I'm not pulling for Oklahoma after they win the Big 12 to get to the playoffs and win a national championship. I'm not doing that. So whenever these mid to lower tier teams say, well, at least we play in the best conference in the nation and we're in the playoffs every single year. No, you're not in the playoffs every single year. Alabama is. You're not Alabama. And what they don't realize is they think they're all buddy-buddy with Alabama. Oh, since Alabama's in the SEC, they're going to go around and share their trophy, and that trophy belongs to the SEC. You know what Alabama's doing? They're, get up. Get off. That's our trophy. I don't care if you're in the SEC. Get off. We're going to pound you again next year. That's what they're doing. They're not accepting you as their peers. They're stomping you into oblivion every time they play you. And that's why I don't understand these conference homers. They act like after they get pounded, humiliated, destroyed on the field, that the week after, then they're pulling for that team the rest of the year to get to the playoffs and win a national championship. That's stupid. That makes no sense. Focus on your team, you get better, recruit better, and maybe one day you'll be able to beat that team that just destroyed you instead of trying to be friends and buddies. And we all share the national championship because we're in the SEC and the SEC is the best conference. I'm not arguing that the SEC is not the best conference. It is the best conference right now. But that has nothing to do with those mid to lower tier teams acting like that since Alabama wins the national championship, so do they. No, you don't. That's not how it works. I promise. I'm not making that up. It's a real thing. Look it up. And I understand that the total amount of revenue that the SEC makes is split among everybody. I understand that. I get that. So the more success each SEC team makes, the more the entire conference makes, and the more it gets split up. I understand that. But actually pulling for a team that just destroyed you, humiliated you, stomped you on national television just makes no sense to me. It doesn't. If you keep getting destroyed every year by the same teams over and over and over, then what good does all that money that the bigger teams are making for you do for you? I would understand if that actually helped you and you got better and better and eventually you overtook them. I would understand that. But that's not what happens. You're stuck in the middle of the pack, and yet you're still pulling for those teams above you that are far superior than you year after year after they stomp you and embarrass you. It makes no sense. What you need to do is just be focused on your team. I know it's tough when you're stuck in the middle and there is no hope. And that might be the reason. You know there's no hope. So you look to live vicariously through Alabama, through the SEC, since you know you're never going to be there. That might be the answer. I just now thought of that. That actually kind of does make sense. But as a West Virginia fan, we're stuck in the middle. And I would still never do that. West Virginia makes a pretty good chunk of change off the Big 12. But right now, we have no chance of winning the conference, much less getting into the playoffs. And I'm not going, well, all is lost. Might as well pull for Oklahoma. Hopefully they can win the Big 12, get to the playoffs, win the national championship, make us more money so we can do nothing. That's not what I'm doing. In fact, I think West Virginia should get out of the Big 12 the first chance they get, because it makes no sense for West Virginia to be in the Big 12. The ACC, the SEC, the Big 10, all three of those make more sense than the Big 12. And I'm not dismissing any argument. Please leave a valid argument that will convince me a good reason to be a conference homer, because I just don't get it. Here's the thing that those teams don't realize. If you're stuck in that mentality to where you're thinking, well, even though they just stomped us and embarrassed us, they'll make more money for us because they're getting to the playoffs and the national championship, then you'll never get to their level, because you're just relying on them to make the money. And you're doing nothing with it, because you have no chance of winning the conference, getting to the playoffs, winning the national championship, none of that. Stuck in the same cycle over and over and over. Strive to be the best instead of pulling for the best after they've destroyed you. Anyways, that's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.